You know, I think I was actually born in the wrong time and the wrong place. I've been renewing my acquaintance with this delightful place, and rereading what went on here has convinced me that I should have been born to rich parents about 250 years ago. When I worked for the National Trust, this was one of the properties that was my responsibility. And the more I got to know about this place, the more I thought I would have liked to have been around in its heyday and indulged in some of the activities that took place here. Well, this is the Kymin, or more properly, Cae Maen, high above the border town of Monmouth. This hilltop site has been attracting visitors for centuries, and it's renowned for its absolutely stunning views. But the period we're concentrating on today is the end of the 18th and the early years of the 19th centuries. The original name of the hill perfectly represents the landscape because the slopes are indeed dotted with large stones. So Cae Maen, or the Field of Stones, is perfectly named. But like so many places in Wales, it suffered from unfortunate poor pronunciations. I have a really lovely quote about this place, because here in the 1790s it was reported, and I quote, "During the most pleasant part of the summer season, the principal gentlemen of Monmouth and its vicinity hold a weekly meeting at the Kymin on a Tuesday for the purpose of dining together and spending the day in a social and friendly manner." Well, certainly dining out of doors had its attractions for those gentlemen because, especially so when they were fortified, and I quote again, with wine and other liquors to certain limitations. I really think I would have liked to have been a member of the Kymin Club. The vagaries of our weather being such that one of the members stated his wish to have a slight building erected as security from the inclemency of the weather. This was a suggestion that was greeted with great enthusiasm, and contributions and subscriptions raised the sum of 80 guineas to erect this delightful little edifice. So they commissioned a Mr. Roberts of Monmouth, who designed this wonderful, quirky, crenellated tower. It's about 30 feet high and really consists of 2 rooms. The upper floor, here's another quote, was for dining, being 15 foot clear inside and fitted up in a manner suitable for the purposes of friendship and conviviality to which it's devoted. The lower floor was used as a commodious kitchen. You know, my life has been made so much easier in describing this place because so much has been written about it over the years. For instance, here's another quote. In the early 1800s, somebody wrote about the views that can be seen from the windows. This is what he said: "The mind may truly to be held captive in looking over so exquisite a scene, which comprehends a tract of country, varied and beautiful as the imagination can frame." This building was actually completed in 1796, and it was complete with a Doland telescope mounted on the roof. But like any club, of course, they had rules and regulations. Here's an indication. Every person using the summer house was charged 6pence. Tea, 1 shilling each. However, if you choose to take or send provisions and liquor, the dinner will be dressed and the cloth laid at any hour, provided the room be not pre-engaged by other visitors. This place, par excellence, was, and of course still is, about recreation. It had its own stables, this marvellous carriage drive, and all under the supervision of Mrs. Farrer, who was an attentive and obliging woman. This place is so popular today, with people coming to picnic and enjoy the walks that were laid over 200 years ago. And this large green expanse was once a bowling green that was later used as a hockey pitch.
When this place was in its heyday in the early years of the 19th century, well, Britain was at war with France, and the exploits of Lord Nelson and the other admirals, indeed, that was the hot news of the day. Nelson's victory at the Battle of the Nile in 1798 was greeted with much excitement by those first gentlemen of Monmouth, and they decided that that event should be commemorated. And this is what they did. They commissioned the construction of this wonderful, outrageous, whimsical building that was finished in 1800 after an intense round of fundraising. Over the years, this building suffered. It was pretty poorly treated on occasions, and of course, time took its toll as well. And there have been a series of phases of repair and restoration. The great event, of course, was the visit by Lord Nelson, accompanied by Lady Emma Hamilton, on August the 18th in 1802. They stayed for a few days in Monmouth, and they were entertained for breakfast in the banqueting house by the Kymin Club, which was then followed by a tour of the monument. Nelson was evidently delighted and thought it was one of the most beautiful places he'd ever seen. He alluded to the subscriptions then underway for the future Nelson's Column in Trafalgar Square in London. And he said, "The nation has been engaged for some time in collecting money in order to erect by public subscriptions a magnificent structure of this kind without accomplishing its purpose. This at the Kymin is enough, and for which the admirals whose services here are recorded are very much obliged to you." The Naval Temple, of course, represents an age when the British Navy ruled the waves. But today now, there's this wonderful sense of peace and tranquility with these lovely bosky groves and the verdant lawns. So far different to the time when the banqueting house and the surrounding area was a place for quite a few riotous parties and celebrations. Well, I know it's a pun, but I really couldn't resist it. But this is one of the high spots of the locality. The views from here are absolutely stunning and always ever changing. So, Cae Maen, the Field of Stones, the Kymin, it really is a lovely place, and I so enjoy coming here because, of course, there's the delight of the buildings, the banqueting house, the temple, the stables, the bowling green, these lovely lawns, but also I think what is just so attractive about the place are these wonderful mature trees. So this is a place where you get this happy and lovely combination of human and natural history. And if you haven't yet been, make the effort to do so, because I think you will find it well worth your while.